Hi, Max. Nice to see you again.
Hi.
Um, I was quite interested in our last conversation um, about where you get your information from. It was very different in my day. You'd read a newspaper, and the Times, which was so old-fashioned back then that you didn't get news on the front page of the Times. You got advertisements. It was, a format that they'd had for the previous 200 years. And they only changed, I
Yeah.
think it was 1965, 1966, and it wasn't as good a paper after that, oddly enough. But and the television, and there were two was it three channels? No, four channels. I'm sorry, BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, and Channel Four, and that was it. And even Channel Four was quite new, and a lot of sets could only get BBC One and ITV.
Mm.
So we had a very limited range of information, and therefore we had the same sort of narrative, if you like. We have different takes on it, but it was broadly the same narrative. But I'm sure, apart from the fact it is true, isn't it, that every night at 9 o'clock you sit and watch the 9 o'clock news on the
Oh yeah,
BBC.
without a doubt. Every night I'm always downstairs waiting for the 9 o'clock news.
Yes, your nose is getting longer by the second.
No.
Where do you get your where do you get your information from? Do you get any information? I suppose that's a question.
That is that. Yeah. Well, majority of the information I get is from social media. Um, if I was to go onto any social media, if there's any big thing that's happened that day, I would see it. Um, or if I'm turning on the TV and it's the first thing there, I might watch it or something like that. But that's where I get most of my information from. And if I
Who
find something that I find quite interesting, I'll research it. But yeah,
who told you that the Duke of Edinburgh has just died?
my mum, I had no idea. She called me downstairs and was like, "The Duke of Edinburgh's died," and I went, "Oh, God!" And then I went on social media and I saw everywhere that um, everyone was
Ah,
like, "R.I.P." stuff like that.
yeah. And
But
so you see, you don't watch the box, but you do read social media. Um,
yeah,
I think I know the answer to this. Do you ever read books?
some it depends what the book is on. I do read product design books because that's kind of what I'm passionate about. But it's kind of about it. I haven't read a novel or anything like that in a good 3 or 4 years.
I
I just
remember I remember very cruelly the headmaster talking to those of us who were in the upper sixth, and he turned to one chap, nice fella, mathematician, um, got an exhibition to one of the Oxford colleges, and he
yeah.
said, "Blogs," he said, that wasn't his name. Have you ever read a hardback book? And Blogs admitted that no, he'd never read a hardback book. Well, the head an English scholar, so um,
Oh,
one knew one knew what a sort of a book he meant. But do you people ever read books?
no, not
Why
unless we're
not? Why
doing
why
something
not?
specific.
Why not? Why not?
Well, because we've been brought up, for the majority of our lives, been brought up about around technology and watching videos and social media and stuff like that. We just haven't had the same upbringing as people that read books as. I mean, obviously we read books as children, but then the latter of our lives, like the last 8 years or so, we just haven't. It's just not something that kids our age do anymore. You'll see the average child carrying around a massive iPad or a new iPhone in their hand, as opposed to a, a book in their hands. Like it's just common nowadays to just not read as much.
But what have you got to talk about?
Social media, anything you find on there, that's what you talk about.
Yeah, but do you find you go any? It strikes me that the medium itself doesn't encourage depth. It strikes me, rightly or wrongly, as somebody who doesn't use social media, that you get predigested snippets, superficial reactions. You don't get ideas that are then expanded. You don't watch an argument develop. Do you understand what I'm saying, even?
Understand what you're saying?
And am I right?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Oh, crumbs. How do you feel about that, old boy?
I don't really know.
Oh, crikey. Yeah. Now I know why your eyes glaze over so quickly when I'm talking to you.
Yes.
So you're not used to developing arguments, and you're not
Not
used
particularly.
you haven't got the equipment. He said, you haven't got the equipment to criticize somebody's argument. I mean,
Not particularly.
a specious politician gets up and gives you what seems a plausible argument, and you say, "Yeah, right." And the next
Yeah,
politician
right.
stands up and gives you the opposite plausible argument. You say, "Yeah, right." How do you make up your
Yeah,
mind?
basically.
How do you make up your mind? And
Don't.
you're one of the really intelligent ones.
I don't really make up my mind, to be honest.
Well, you're going to have
I'm,
to, aren't you?
yeah.
I mean,
I just
I
haven't
mean,
really been brought up to make like arguments or anything like that.
well,
Just not
how will you make your decisions about important things? For instance,
research.
how? Well, that's fair enough. But
Like
have you?
important
Do,
decisions,
do,
as in what case?
well, do they provide you material at school
For
to weigh evidence? This on this side of the scale says this about product design, and that on the other side of the scale says that. Now, what conclusion do we draw? Do they ever do anything like that?
not really. I wouldn't, unless it's kind of like you do English where you do more argumentative writing. I wouldn't say we're really taught to
Critical
that kind of
thinking.
way. Critical thinking, no, unless you go into English A level or university or anything like that. It's just kind
So
of how the education system is at the moment. I don't know. Just
how? I mean, I mean, I was bored stiff by A level, to be perfectly truthful. Um, uh, I history, Latin, and French. The French was interesting because it's a language. The Latin was interesting because it's a language. The history, I was bored stupid. I went up to university, and actually within the first 3 days, the whole situation changed because history at university was utterly different from history
oh
at
no,
school.
yeah, it would be,
And
yeah.
I took to that like a duck to water in a way that my contemporaries at school did not. It's quite funny, really.
Mm.
But at least what we used to have to do, we had to write a narrative. You know, the way to answer this question is this, because that, and that. But and of course, being about human beings, it's all shades of grey. But you're pretty much a mathematician, aren't you? Um,
I mean, I do maths at A level. I wouldn't say I'm a mathematician. I'd say I'm more a product design edition, if that's the
oh
thing.
right, yeah, quite. But is there no critical judgment in product design?
Yeah, there is, but not. It's not like a main part about it. Obviously, you have to criticize your own work, and you get third party criticisms and stuff like that. But not like a massive amount. In all honesty, not a lot.
So if I were to ask you how you make your decisions, you really wouldn't know particularly how to answer. Am I right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you
Because
wing that as well.
I'll wing it. Yeah, I'll just go with the flow. I guess no plan. Yeah.
Crumbs. Well, I mean, that's one danger of your social medium um, culture. Um, People outside seem to think that social media leads to all sorts of ghastliness, like cancel culture and bullying online and sexting and even some people talk
Yeah.
about a rape culture that's enabled by social media. Um, has that been your experience,
No.
or the experience of
I
your friends, both sexes?
I wouldn't say my friends have had it either. And my personal opinion about social media is I'm not a person that just flurries and just kind of post themselves everywhere all over social media. I'm quite a reserved person on social media. Like I'll
Yeah.
only add people that I know. I'll only talk to people that I know, I actually know properly. I won't ever try and bully anyone online because I just think I wouldn't like it to happen to me, and that's quite
No.
stereotypical. But like,
Yeah.
do what unto others is what you want to do unto yourself. It's like
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the same
Yes.
situation
I took you through confirmation. I know.
as that. Like, and with the whole cancel culture thing, it's quite extreme. It's just people just it's basically bullying. It's kind of really quite sad. Um, Top celebrities just getting cancelled because of some random thing they put on social media a while ago, and it just pops up, and someone, just one person, just kind of goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, do you remember when you
Yeah.
said this?" And it's over. And I just
Yeah.
think it's just a waste of time. There was no reason for them to really do that. It was. I just think social media does bring a lot of people together. It has brought me a lot closer to my friends and has kept me in contact well over lockdown and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
there's also a massive dark side to social media, which should be explored by a lot of people because, well, not really explored, but kind of shown light upon that
Yeah.
social media can do this to people, and that if you're a young person that's quite vulnerable, because young people are vulnerable on social media, they should really take care in what they do, and parents should put precautions in place for their children because it's a scary place. But when you've got it all locked down and it's just you and other people that you know, I think it's brilliant. I think social media is a great place.
And in your observation um, of your friends of both sexes, uh, it isn't in your circles the problem that it appears to be in other circles. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's very reassuring. Well, thank you. You even put an
No
argument
worries.
together. That can only be good. Um, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
I'll see you in the next one. Bye.